Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Alberta Founders Podcast. Woohoo, we made it. For the first episode, it's me, Hems. I'm the founder of Simple French with Hems, and I've got my best friend over here, Odiri, who is the founder of Discloezy. Now, a little bit of intro about me and Odiri. We go way back 2 months ago. That's when we met each other through the Alberta Catalyzer program, the Velocity program. He was in my cohort in Velocity cohort 18, and we both have graduated from that program. And welcome, Odiri. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Hems. It's been a fantastic morning for the last 2 months. So I hope this goes a long way. So yeah, let's get it on.
Perfect. Thanks so much for joining us, Odiri. Well, before we begin, Odiri, can you explain the audience a little bit about what do you do? What does Discloezy mean, and what does the business do?
Well, thank you very much for that question, Hems. So Discloezy basically is what we call automation software for family lawyers. They use Discloezy to do a simple process which every family lawyer goes through in their everyday work. So it's what they call financial disclosure. Financial disclosure simply means exchanging financial information between two separating spouses. So Discloezy is just a tool that helps them automate that process so that they don't have to send emails back and forth. They don't have to upload documents. So that's basically what Discloezy does.
So I would say it's a legal detective, right?
No, not really. It's just automating the manual work. Because there's no detective in it. We just help collect documents, make sure that those documents get to where they need to get to, and there's traceability. Not really. We're not looking into the documents. We're just helping move them around.
Ah, nice. That's pretty cool. Okay. So you mentioned about law firms. Do you also work with real estate people, or this is just for the law firms?
This is strictly for family lawyers, to be very precise. Family lawyers, family paralegals, and we also have mediators in there. This is strictly very niche business for just that part of the market.
Wow, wonderful. Well, let's get into the nooks and crannies and the little teeny tiny tidbit questions we have for you for the podcast. So what thing annoys you the most in your business at this point? Let's be honest. There are things that people are really annoyed with. You don't want to send emails. You don't want to talk to the prospects. What is the thing that annoys you the most in the business right now?
So this is, as I said, this is just a tricky one. The fact that you built something and you still have to get it out there. It's not an annoyance per se, but it's something that really makes you, I wish I didn't have to do this. So that really gets me. It gets me thinking, what is the best way to get the people to know that they've got something that can really help them? So it's more than an annoyance. It's just a challenge that I need to get through. So every single day, that's the challenge that sits in front of me every day. Just making sure that more people know about what we do and why we do it.
So market awareness, that's the problem. Okay.
Who else like that term? Yes.
Yeah, everyone's having that problem these days. Yeah. So to the first time founders and students who are listening to this podcast and seeing me and you for the first time, can you explain to them what is the meaning of market awareness and what should they do if they're just starting out? What should they do to do this?
This is entrepreneurship 101 in my view. Nobody tells you until you get into the game. I think you could build the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then nobody's going to use it. So market awareness is just that process of this is my definition, by the way, trying to get people who need what you built to know that it's available. There are many ways to do that. You could advertise. You could go on a podcast like this one. You could have a friend like Hems who could help you get the word out. You could, but it's just a process. There are many ways to do it, but the most important thing is find a way that works, especially with your personality. Some people are different. Some people are extroverted, some people are introverted, but you want to make sure you find the most effective channel for you and the market you're trying to reach to be able to get the word out. That's what I would call market. Once you get the word out, then people know about you. then you could get more people walking to your door, just like you dreamt about it when you started the business or started the project, whatever it is.
Absolutely. So what that means, students, is stay connected to your teachers, to your professors, to your friends. That's what your network is at the end of the day, eventually, the people who you speak to every day. Wonderful. Okay. Well, next question is, what problems do you keep on holding to that you think would one day just poof, magically disappear, and you would never, ever, ever, ever see them again? Is there anything like that?
There is. I'm sure this happens to most. Maybe I'm generalizing too much, but the fact that you still have to do some selling. The goal is to build something, from my point of view, a technology perspective, but the fact that you still, in the very early days, have to sell this thing to somebody. Selling and building a completely different thing. I wish I would wake up one day I wouldn't have to sell, but it's not the way it goes out. You've got to figure out a way, no matter how difficult, just to make sure that you can find a way to sell it. Selling it is about making sure you know that people need it, making sure you're providing value. So yeah, I wish selling would go away, but it doesn't. I wake up every morning and it's still there.
Yep, selling is that one bane that never leaves you alone. No, absolutely. And have you tried to do anything to get better at selling? Did you read books or anything of that sort?
That's a very good question, Hams. You start from there. You're trying to say, how can I get better at this? And the truth of the matter is that you can't actually get better at this because nobody knows what you're building more than you, from a product perspective, from a pain perspective. So just as Hams has said, you want to start from trying to, how can I do this better? What can I read? There are lots of books out there, lots of YouTube videos out there. And there are a few things I've learned myself. I think the most important thing I've learned about selling is that nobody likes to be sold. You want to find out if they have a problem that you're trying to fix. If they have that problem, that's the first step. Then you can go to the next steps and okay, have you ever tried? So it's more of a process that you have to go through, but you just don't go and say, I'm going to sell you something. That's where it really becomes hard. I think letting that really helped me, move me along the way. I have a coach who takes me through that process. So yes, nobody likes to be sold. If you know that, you can think about other ways to do it.
Wonderful. Yeah. No, selling is the cornerstone, and students take note. Nobody likes to be sold. So you have to learn selling. Okay. That's the first step of any business. Exactly. No, that's good. Now, the next one is, do you have or you don't have the shiny object syndrome where you're like, oh, I need to do this. I need to build that. I should do this. I should do that. Or do you stop yourself from doing that?
I know the audience of this podcast will be mostly entrepreneurs. I think every entrepreneur would have that syndrome. But it gets to a point, especially if what you're building, it's becomes. So I'll tell this story. So when we started Discloezy, we had a very, very few customers, and every day they said, well, they want to do this, they want to do that. And for me, I like to serve the customers. So it's always, we always try to build something new. But it got to a point where we say, if we keep doing everything they tell us to do, what we're trying to build, we might never get there. So yes, I do have that syndrome of trying to go to the next shiny thing. But the truth of the matter is that at some point, you want to try to rein yourself back in. And it's very easy to do that. Once you start going off and say, what I'm doing here is really adding to the goal. So yes, I do have the syndrome. I just ask myself a simple question. So this is helping me achieve my overall goal. If it's not, I'm going to take a step back.
Exactly, yeah. And I remember this anecdote from that movie Matrix, where Trinity opens that door for Neo and says, hey, Neo, you've been through that path before, and you know what happens down there. Do you want to still go there again? So,
yep.
So we have to stay a little bit away from the shiny object syndrome. Otherwise, we just keep on building and never actually selling them. I have that myself as well, by the way.
I'm sure we all do.
Yeah, build a lot of applications, have to find a way to start selling it. But anyways, let's go to the next one. What is the most mentally exhausting part of your work that nobody actually sees?
So I think this must apply to not most, but I think general audience here listening. I think the fact that you have to wear multiple hats. There's just no getting around at the very early stage of being a founder, being the marketer, being the product guy, being the sales guy, being the support guy. That is mentally exhausting. The most difficult part of that, and what I think I don't struggle with it, it's just that I wish I didn't have to do it. It's just making sure the numbers are right. Because if the numbers aren't right, you don't have a business. If you have an upside down,
Yeah.
you just don't have this. So having to be the accountant, the sales guy, the marketing guy, all that's exhausting. Adding the accounting to it, I'm sure it's super, super not fun. So I think, that's the part, just having to be everybody else, apart from just focused on building. I think that's
Yeah.
So-
Where you are, as you said, you're the sales guy, you are the marketing guy, you are the product guy, you are the AI guy, you are the social media guy, you are the engineer, you are the website developer, you are everything. Like, wow. This is the part that people don't understand in the beginning. Oh, I'll just get an application. I'll be an entrepreneur. I'm like, try it. See what happens.
People also think that with AI coming through, you can just build apps, because you hear these ads, just build it out there. That's not true, because you build it. You still have to sell it. You
have to host it somewhere.
You have to host it somewhere. You got to know what it's doing. So that's a really exhausting thing to do.
Like with the application, there's a whole backend. Like if you have an app, like where are you going to put it? How is the person going to download the application? Yeah. How are you going to put a licensing structure or some kind of, like, how do you collect their emails? How do you stop them from selling it to someone else? How do you add a password in the beginning? Like, where is the backend going to be?
It is more than just a fun project. I think that's what you need to know when you get into it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And what is the one thing that gives you that little teeny tiny bit of happiness when you are in the trenches? You're like, I need to do 4 more sales calls today. Like, what do you do, that one thing that makes you happy, that immediate instant happiness? Is it eating an ice cream, or do you do a push-up, or you watch a YouTube video that pumps you up? Like, what do you do?
There are very many things. I'm going to say one serious thing, and I'm going to say a fun thing. So one of the biggest things that gives you that feeling when you see people get into the system that you built and they're using it the way you intend to use it. I had a situation like this yesterday. We had a team sign up, and they didn't even have to be told what to do. That gives you a good feeling. But another thing that really makes me just feel good is just taking some time off and just put your legs up and sit down. The bad thing about that is that while you're laying back there, the work is getting done. And so it is absolutely important to know that you got to put in the work. If people are using it, it's not for you to stop and put your leg up. So I do try to take some time out sometimes, but it just ends up with no work getting done. So not the best advice, but I get to do it sometimes. So.
No, that's good. You need rest, absolutely, yeah, and you need those time offs. But yes, seeing the other person actually using what you've built, that happiness, nobody can take that away from you, because you made it with your hands, with your brain, with your time, and the other person using it, like, that's the best happiness that there can be. Yeah, absolutely. Now, next one is, what did you think would be easy in the beginning, but it was way harder than you expected it to be?
So this is one that hits the nerve. So I didn't even think about marketing. I would vouch that most founders get into this pickle. I didn't even think that you needed to market. I just thought you needed to build it. But if you build it without letting the world know, like I said from before, then you sit with that thing, and it's It's not a feeling. So I think that has been a reorientation, some learning, and what we learned in the Alberta Catalyzer program has been very helpful in that regards. Just to know that, you've got to think about that from the start. It's if you can't get the word out, let people know. You don't have them. You just do a side gig, and side gigs are good. But if you really want to make it serious, then you've got to try to think about that from the start.
From a marketing perspective, exactly, yeah. And what advice would you give to first-time founders or students watching this if they don't know anything about marketing? What should they do? Should they record from their phone, read a book, talk to a mentor? Like, what should they do?
All of the above. I think it starts from education. I think this is why the Alberta Catalyzer program was a very good one. I think most of us got there after doing some stuff, but we all also learned some things from there. I think it starts from education. If you start from education with that curiosity, you can ask people, you can ask founders, you can other founders, you could read a book, you could watch YouTube videos. But I think if you get educated, the approach to a problem, whatever problem you're trying to solve, might just be slightly different. And I think that would provide you what I call a little more progress than you would eventually get if you didn't do that. So I think education is the first step, and action is the next step. You gotta ready, fire, aim. That's where I take it.
Exactly. Execution needs to be there. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Okay, next one is, what advice, this is a fun one. What advice do you keep getting from people that turns on your BS meter? Like, that's not right. Do you have anything like that? Any examples of that?
1,000,001 examples. First of all, the advice is, you don't take advice from people who are not in the ring, just from my point of view. And I think we've got a few examples of this. This happened not too long ago where somebody came and was telling me, hey, you got to get the list of these people. You've got to do this. And I looked at the guy. Well, if it's so easy, why don't you just get a list? And let me just email, please. You just scrape a list. The list is there. And so I think the moral of the story is that it's easier said than done. So people on the outside always try to hey, if I were you, I would do this, but it's not that easy because the context changes when you got your passion involved, you've got your money on the line, you've got your credit. So there's many things to it. So yeah, that example of someone telling me about just getting a list and emailing, it's like, I've done that 1,000,000 times. It just doesn't. It's not that simple. If you think it's that simple, get it.
Why don't you do it?
Yes, that's the one I can stand it, but it's just not a good thing to hear.
Yeah, because the thing is, it is hard. It is genuinely hard. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Like just getting a list and emailing and getting millions of dollars. Why is nobody else doing it?
It's not easy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One advice that I got was do everything for free. I'm like, okay, for how long? And how does that convert to money? It's like, just hope one day they will buy it.
Yeah. I think somebody told me that, and I'm just in a different world because when you get educated from the start, that's what from your previous question, you know how to set up. Yep. It can't be free. You just can't. If it's free, then you shouldn't be in the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So students and first-time founders listening to this, please take advice from people who have been down the journey that you want to go to, not from people who have never even done anything that you want to begin with. So, okay, perfect. Well, now we have come to the second section of our podcast, which is the rapid fire round. Are you ready for that, Odiri?
I was born ready.
Well, these ones we need a single or maximum 2 words for the answer. All right. Okay, I've got these over here for you. One tool that you swear by.
Oh, smart.
Okay. One tool you would never use again.
just legacy is Salesforce. I used to use Salesforce. I won't use Salesforce again. HubSpot's just down my road right now.
Perfect. Your favorite book?
The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Wonderful. That's a good one. Favorite food that gets you in the mood of business immediately?
It's just plain. I don't know. This is the Africans on the call that we understand this. Jollof rice.
Jollof rice. Okay, wonderful. What metrics you check the most in your business?
I like to check the open rates of my emails today. I think that's where we're at.
Open rates of your emails. Okay. One thing that has saved you more than one time in your business?
So the fact that I can always, so I have a team that helps with development. Those guys are always there. So relying on my developer saved me millions of times because I'm setting up. So like I said before, anyway, just relying on developers helps.
Relying on your developers. Okay. Wonderful. To anyone watching our podcast today who's a first-time founder, who's a first-time anything, because everybody starts somewhere. They're a student just learning the games, the rules of the game. What one speech, teeny tiny one, you would like to give to them? The floor is yours.
It's never been easier to do what you want to do. If you're really serious about it, then educate it and take action. Tiny speech, nothing more.
Exactly. That's what they have to do. So before we close or end of the episode 1 over here, Odiri, can you tell the audience what's next for Discloezy? What are you folks working at? What should be looking out for?
So for us, the big thing we've identified as going to help with our next stage of growth is what we believe is strategic partnerships. So we've identified some strategic partners, and we're going to find ways to engage and collaborate with them more. So I think that's next for us. I think that's going to unlock a more of what we call our ICPs, and just for listeners to understand this, my ideal customer profile. So we're trying to reach the exact people who can build them for and ready to buy. So strategic partnerships are what was next for us building. That's the part we're on now. So that's extremely key for us for the next 12 months. And that's where we're focusing a lot of energy. The product is the product. It's going to come, but that's where we're at right now.
So you're working on the next step, strategic B2B partnerships, and that's where the sales and the marketing and everything comes along.
Business development, all is everything under that umbrella. We're going to do some selling, some business development. We're going to do some marketing, whatever it takes to make sure we've got real partners that will be with us for a long time. Is exactly. We want to build something that's going to be here for a long time. We think that's important to the business.
Oh, wonderful. And one more question, actually, Odiri, came to us from one of our students over here. They wanted to ask you, what exactly is an IP, and the beginning stages, should they be worried about that?
Interested. I will tell them, this is just a quote. This is a paraphrase of a quote. So ideas are a dime a dozen. Everybody's got ideas. Execution, it's where it's at. You should be worried about IP only when you've executed and you've got something that you can really defend. But if it's not anything yet and it's just an idea, I don't think you should be worried. I can swear to you, people have lots of ideas, and you can steal someone's idea. But if you can build it, that's when you need to defend it. That's where I'll put it. I hope that's helpful to that student.
Wonderful. Well, that was it for today, Odiri. Thanks so much for joining us on the episode 1 of Alberta Founders Podcast. And to everyone else watching, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.
Thanks.